A very good morning, students. In the previous session, we have seen about the Nernst equation at room temperature, and how to write the reaction quotient or the equilibrium constant for the given reaction. Whether the reaction is a single reactant and product or multiple reactants and products. So we can write how to write. We have seen how to write the reaction quotient of the equilibrium constant. And this is the last topic in electrochemistry. In the first unit, we will be having two subunits. One is electrochemistry and the batteries. So today, I'm going to explain you the last topic in electrochemistry, and also I will give the introduction of the batteries also. The last topic is determination of pH by using Quine-Hydrone electrode. Already we heard about the Quine-Hydrone electrode. We have seen about the Quine-Hydrone electrode. Quine-Hydrone electrode is one of the reference electrode. What is the use of reference electrode? A reference electrode is using to find the electrode potential of the unknown electrode. What is mean by the unknown electrode? Unknown electrode is nothing but the electrode whose electrode potential is not known. So to find that electrode potential value, we are using the help of the reference electrode. So reference electrode is using to find the electrode potential of the unknown electrode. One of the reference electrode is the Quine-Hydrone electrode. But how the Quine-Hydrone electrode? Quine-Hydrone electrode is not having any structure which is available in the powdered form. And how we are going to prepare the Quine-Hydrone electrode powder? By using quinone and the hydroquinone. Here quinone and hydroquinone, these two are in the equal concentration. That is, equimolar mixture of quinone and hydroquinone is called Quine-Hydrone. Equimolar is nothing but equal molarity of quinone and the hydroquinone to prepare the Quine-Hydrone electrode. So in Quine-Hydrone electrode, quinone and hydroquinone, these two are in the equal portions. Already we have seen how to apply the Nernst equation for the Quine-Hydrone electrode also. But just let us recall again about the Quine-Hydrone electrode and how to construct the Quine-Hydrone electrode and how to apply the Nernst equation. Afterwards, we can say the determination of pH by using Quine-Hydrone electrode. So the pH can be determined by using indicator electrode, which is reversible with H+ ions like Quine-Hydrone electrode. Why we are calling the indicator electrode? Indicator electrode is nothing but the electrode also acting as an indicator. That is not perfect indicator, but it is acting as an indicator electrode because it is available in the powdered form. So it is acting as an indicator electrode. And it is always reversible with acid. It is always reversible with H+. Because the Quine-Hydrone electrode is applicable only in the presence of acid. It is not applicable in the neutral or the basic medium because the quinone hydroquinone conversions are possible only in the presence of acid. When this conversion is possible, the quinone and hydroquinone, that means Quine-Hydrone, is always reversible with H+ ions. So here, this is quinone and this is hydroquinone. How quinone is converts to hydroquinone? By gaining the two H+ ions to convert hydroquinone. And hydroquinone is converts to quinone by losing H+ ions. Whatever the two H+ ions are there, these two H+ ions are losing to convert quinone. So always this indicator electrode is reversible with H+ ions. And this is the reaction part. Already we have seen the reaction part. And this is the E0 value of Quine-Hydrone. What is E0 value? E0 is nothing but the standard electrode potential. Standard electrode potential means at the standard conditions. What are the standard conditions? Room temperature and atmospheric pressure is the standard condition. These were the standard conditions. At the standard conditions, the E value is called E0. That is the standard electrode potential. The value is 0.6994 volts. So now let us apply the Nernst equation. Nernst equation to this particular reaction. But in this reaction, we don't have the formulas like H plus, Cl minus. We don't have the formulas. Instead of the formulas, we are having the structures. But we can't apply the Nernst equation to the structures. So instead of writing the structures, we are representing the structures as the formulas. So quinone can be representing as Q, quinhydrone can be representing as QH2. So Q plus 2H plus 2 electrons giving rise to QH2. Again, we can write QH2 giving rise to Q plus 2H plus 2 electrons. So now let us apply the Nernst equation at room temperature. What is the Nernst equation at room temperature? But before that, what is the Nernst equation? E is equals to E naught minus 2.303 RT by NF log K. This is the Nernst equation. This is the general Nernst equation. But what is the Nernst equation at room temperature? If we know R value, T value, that means if we substitute R value, T value and F value in the general Nernst equation, we will get the Nernst equation at room temperature. What is the R value? 8.314. T value at room temperature 298 Kelvin. F is a Faraday constant, that is 96,487 coulombs. Yes, by substituting these three values, we will get this Nernst equation. This Nernst equation is called the Nernst equation at room temperature. That is E is equals to E naught minus 0.059 by N log K. We know what is N, what is K, that is always variable. N is always variable. N is the number of electrons. Number of electrons will be changing in the reactions. Yes, in every reaction, the number of electrons will not be same. And what is K here? K is the product concentration and the reactants concentration ratio. Products concentration divided by reactants concentration is the equilibrium constant. So now let us apply the Nernst equation to this reaction. In this reaction, what is the N value? N means number of electrons. How many electrons are there? N will be 2. And what is K? K is products concentration divided by reactants concentration. See here, in this reaction, we have only one product. But how many reactants are there? We have 2 reactants. Don't apply for the electrons. Just apply only for the reactants. So here, we are having the 2 reactants. One is Q and another one is a H plus. If we have the multiple reactants, in the place of plus, we have to put the multiplication symbol. And the number of moles must be on the power. Q power 1, H plus power 2. In between that, we have plus. In the place of plus, put the multiplication symbol. So, E naught minus 0.059 by N. What is N? N with 2 log product is QH2 divided by Q into H plus power 2. But I said now, what is quinhydrone electrode? Quinhydrone electrode is the equimolar mixture of quinone and the hydroquinone. That means quinone, that is Q, and hydroquinone, that is QH2. These 2 concentrations will be equal. That means if Q is 1 molar, QH2 also 1 molar. If Q is 2 molar, QH2 also 2 molar. So always these 2 will be equal. So we are assuming that is equals to 1. So let us cancel these 2. Then what is the remaining thing? H plus power 2 is the remaining thing. So we will get E is equals to E naught minus 0.059 by 2 log 1 by H plus power 2. Let us take this H plus power to the numerator. When it is goes to the numerator, we will get H plus power minus 2. Log H plus power minus 2. It is in the form of log x power m. Log x power m formula is m log x. Log H plus power minus 2. X power m. H plus power minus 2. M will be come to front. That means minus 2 will be come to front log H plus. Here minus 2 is in the numerator, 2 is in the denominator. 2 gets cancelled with each other. When 2 cancel with each other, we will get E is equals to E naught minus 0.059 minus log of H plus. But we know minus log of H plus is power of hydrogen, that is pH. So in the place of minus log of H plus, what we can write? We can write pH. So in the place of this, we can write pH. So finally, we will get E is equals to E naught minus 0.059 pH. So we can write is equals to E naught minus 0.059 pH. But this is for quin hydrone electrode. So in the place of E, we can write E of quin hydrone. What is quin hydrone? Quinone and hydroquinone. E naught of quin hydrone, quinone and hydroquinone. So we have written EQQH2 minus is equals to E naught QQH2 minus 0.059 pH. And this is the electrode potential of the quin hydrone electrode. Now what we need? We need the another electrode support to construct the cell. How we are constructing the cell? By using the two electrodes, anode and the cathode. Already we are having one electrode. What is that electrode? Quin hydrone electrode. And we need another electrode support to find the pH value. Another electrode will be the saturated calomel electrode. Now the two electrodes will be connecting to the battery. Here battery will be the potentiometer. Battery will be the potentiometer. Here potentiometer is potentiometer is giving the EMF value, electromotive force value. It is displays the electromotive force. Electromotive force is also called as a E cell. What is electromotive force? Electromotive force is nothing but the potential difference between the two electrodes, that is E cathode minus E anode. Already we know one electrode potential, that is a reference electrode potential value, and EMF also displayed on potentiometer. Then we can find the pH of unknown electrode. So we are using another electrode. So let us write EQ, E naught Q minus 0.059 pH. But we know what is the E naught value. This we have seen here. What is the E naught value? E naught is equals to 0.6994. So in the place of E naught, we can write 0.6994. So 0.6994 minus 0.059 pH. This is for quin hydrone electrode potential value. So now this electrode is combined with the saturated calomel electrode and the cell EMF is generated. So I said now how the EMF is generating in the potentiometer, because potentiometer is connecting to the calomel electrode and the quin hydrone electrode. So by using this EMF, we are going to find the pH value. Yes. So here the calomel electrode is combining with the quin hydrone electrode. When calomel electrode is combining with the quin hydrone electrode, our quin hydrone electrode is acting as a cathode and calomel electrode is acting as the anode. This is based on the electrochemical series. In electrochemical series, the top metals are anode, bottom metals are cathode. Here calomel electrode is at the top position, quin hydrone electrode is in the bottom position. So here calomel electrode is acting as the anode, quin hydrone electrode is acting as a cathode here. So let us write the cell notation for the two cells. What I said now, calomel electrode is anode, quin hydrone is cathode. In the cell notation, left side we will be having anode, right side we will be having cathode. In between that we are having the double vertical line. This double vertical line is indicating the salt bridge. Yes. So here left side the anode half cell, the right side cathode half cell. Already I explained you how to write the cell notation. Anode half cell first starts with anode, then anode electrolyte. Cathode first starts with electrolyte, then ends with electrode. This is a cell notation. And now when these two are combining, EMF will be generating. What is EMF? EMF is also called as E cell. EMF or E cell is equals to E cathode minus E anode. But which is cathode? Left side is anode, right side is cathode. What is the cathode? Quin hydrone is cathode, calomel is anode. So in the place of cathode, write quin hydrone. In the place of anode, write calomel. But from here we know what is EQQH2. EQQH2 means 0.6994 minus 0.059 pH. And we know E calomel also. What is E calomel? E calomel is nothing but calomel electrode potential. What is calomel electrode? Calomel electrode is one of the reference electrode. Already we know the electrode potential of that. What is the value of this? This value is 0.2422. So let us substitute that value also. So by taking this to the left side, this to the right side, we can find the pH. So finally we got the pH as 0.6994 minus 0.2422 minus E cell divided by 0.059. This is the formula of pH. So in the external examination, they will ask the determination of pH. This is very important question for the long question for 5 or 6 marks. Even the numerical also very important on pH. They will give the E cathode value and E anode value. You have to find out the pH. If they give E cathode and E anode, initially you will find the E cell. After finding E cell, by substituting E cell in this formula, we are finding the pH. Yes, that is the pH formula and pH calculation. So let us see 1 or 2 numericals based on the EMF, because till now we have not seen the EMF numericals. But just let us recall what is EMF. EMF is nothing but the potential difference between the two electrodes. Electromotive force is defined as the potential difference between the two electrodes. What is the formula of EMF or E cell? E cell is equals to E cathode minus E anode. And also we can write for E naught cell. E naught cell is equals to E naught cathode minus E naught anode. So let us see 1 or 2 numericals. Calculate the EMF of the below redox reaction. So in the external examination, this is very important question, the Pakka question. It is very important for 2 marks question. Sometimes I will ask even for the 4 or 5 marks question also. They are giving the redox reaction here. This is the redox reaction. Mg plus 2H plus giving rise to Mg plus 2 plus H2. See here, the left side reaction is the oxidation, right side reaction is the reduction reaction. Here Mg is giving Mg plus 2, 2H plus is giving H2. Yes, by adding the 2 reactions, we will get the overall reaction. So they have given the reaction here. So now the procedure is, first break down the 2 reactions. Let us write anodic reaction separately, cathodic reaction separately. See here, in the anode, what is happening? Mg is converts to Mg plus 2. How Mg is converts to Mg plus 2? By losing 2 electrons. If 1 electron is losing, we will get Mg plus. If 2 electrons are losing, we will get 2 plus. So we can write Mg is giving rise to Mg2 plus 2 electrons. And how to write the reduction reaction? 2H plus is converts to H2. But how many H plus ions are there? 2 H plus ions are there. If we have 1 H plus, only 1 electron deficiency is here. If we have 2 H plus, we need to add 2 electrons to get H2. Yes. So here I have written the reverse. So let's see 2 H plus 2 electrons giving rise to H2. This is called the reduction reaction because electrons are gaining here. And let us write the other reaction also here. Mg is giving rise to Mg plus 2 electrons. Now E naught of reduction already given in the numerical. E naught of reduction is 0 volts for hydrogen. And E naught of oxygen is minus 2.372 volts. So they have given the reduction reaction E naught value, oxidation reaction E naught value. But where reduction takes place? At cathode. That means E naught cathode value given. Where oxidation takes place? At anode. So they have given E naught anode value also. E naught cathode given, E naught anode given. Then we can find E naught cell. What is E naught cell? E naught cathode minus E naught anode. Directly we can substitute E naught cathode minus E naught anode. E naught cathode minus E naught anode. If we substitute that, finally we will get 2.372 volts. That is E naught cell. So it is very, very simple. Just we are substituting in the place of E naught cathode and E naught anode in the formula. Then we can find the EMF. That is E naught cell. And now another numerical. Calculate the potential of the following redox reaction. So we are going to find out the potential here, cell potential. They have given directly, see here, Ag is converts to Ag plus, Li plus is converts to L. How Ag is converts to Ag plus? How Ag is converts to Ag plus? By losing one electron. How Li plus is converts to Li? By gaining one electron. But we know addition of electron is reduction, loss of electron is oxidation. That means it is cathode, it is anode. Or else directly from this also we can tell to the left side of the double vertical line anode, right side is cathode. So silver is acting as anode and it is acting as a cathode. They will give the E naught cathode value, E naught anode value. Directly we are going to substitute in the formula. By substituting the formula, we will get the E naught cell. But remember one thing, if the value is negative, the reaction is non-spontaneous. If the value is positive, the reaction is a spontaneous reaction. This is about the numericals. So now just let us see the introduction of batteries. But before going to see, we know what is electrochemical cell, how electrochemical cell is constructing. Yes, that is that is galvanic cell. So battery is preparing by combining various number of electrochemical cells. Let us assume these 4 are the single electrochemical cell. These 8 are single electrochemical cell. By combining all these, we can make the battery. So battery is nothing but it is a combination of various number of electrochemical cells in the series or order. That is called the battery. And battery is one of the storage devices. It is storing the chemical energy. That chemical energy is later converts to the electrical energy while using. Yes, that is meant by the battery. So let us see what is the battery. A battery is a storage device used for the storage of chemical energy. It is storing the chemical energy and for the transformation of chemical energy into electrical energy. That means while using in the process, the chemical energy, the stored chemical energy is converts to electrical energy. And battery consists of group of 2 or more electric cells connected together electrically in series. So when 2 or more than 2 electrochemical cells are combining in the series, we can make the battery. And battery is acting as a portable source of electrical energy. That we know that we can use anywhere, and we can even use in the travelings also, and we can move from one place to another place. So it is one of the portable device and easy to use and easy to move from one place to another place. And batteries are of 3 types. We have 3 types of batteries. Those are called primary battery, secondary battery, and the fuel cells. Primary batteries are also called as the non-rechargeable batteries. Secondary batteries are also called as the rechargeable batteries. And fuel cells are also called as the flow batteries. Just let us see the definitions today. And primary cells are those cells in which the chemical reactions occurs only once. So here, whatever the energy stored, that chemical energy is converted to electrical energy. And the back reaction is not possible. That means electrical energy is not again converts to the chemical energy in the primary battery. That means in these batteries, only discharging process takes place. There is no recharging like our mobile phone batteries. Yes, our mobile phone batteries can be recharged again and again, and they can use again and again. But whereas the primary batteries, for example, our wrist watch batteries, and our remote control batteries, these are non-rechargeable batteries. These cannot be used again and again. Once it is discharging completely, we have to throw away. Yes, we can't recharge such type of battery. Those batteries are called the primary batteries. So that is, primary cells are those cells in which the chemical reactions occur only once, and the cell becomes dead after some time and it cannot be used again. These batteries use as source of direct current power, DC power only. So this is not used as a AC power, we can use only as a DC power. So one of the best example which is part of our syllabus is a dry cell, and mercury cell and the lithium cell. These two are not part of our syllabus, only dry cell is part of our syllabus, that I will explain you in the next class. But let us see what are the requirements of primary cell. The main requirements, it should satisfy these requirements. It must be convenient to use, cost of discharge should be low, and standby power is desirable. So these are the basic requirements of the primary battery. I will explain you about the dry cell later, and I will explain you what is meant by the secondary battery also. Secondary batteries are the batteries in which the cell reaction is a two direction. That means your chemical energy, the stored chemical energy converts to electrical energy, and again electrical energy is converts to the chemical energy. How electrical energy is converts to chemical energy? By applying the direct current in the opposite direction. So when they are applying the direct current in the opposite direction, again electrical energy converts to the chemical energy. So for example, of a mobile phone battery, after complete discharging, by applying the direct current, again the energy will be stored in the battery. Again chemical energy is stored in the battery. Again in the discharging process, that means in the usage process, the stored chemical energy is converts to the electrical energy. Again electrical energy is converts to the chemical energy. That is called the secondary battery. And about the fuel cells, I will explain you in the next class. And from in the next class, I'm going to explain you about the primary batteries and the secondary batteries again. Yes, with this, I'm going to conclude today's session. Thank you so much, ma. Tomorrow we'll see in the next class, we will see the new topic.